I'd like to also introduce our another important sponsor of tonight, Stephan, who has just arrived off the plane from the United States, from California, and tomorrow's off to Frankfurt, and another demonstration of how this fintech world is non-stop. So, if you are ready. It was working before. So this is normal IT, not fintech. Excellent. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Stephan. I'm the CEO and founder of X-Ignite. And what I wanted to do first, great presentation, Jason. You'll see I'll cover a little bit of this with maybe more of an old school feel to it. So what I wanted to do today is just talk to you a little bit about X-Ignite, the story behind the company, and we actually sell a lot to fintech companies, and so I wanted to share some of the experience we've had dealing with fintech companies as well, and what we've seen in terms of companies working on that. So let me start talking a little bit about X-Ignite. What we do is cloud-based financial market data distribution. So essentially we have financial market data APIs that you can use to power your applications. We're entirely focused on helping people build applications and get the market data that they need to feed that. As you probably know, financial market data is the lifeblood of finance. So if you're going to build anything that related to capital markets or banking, you're going to need some data at some point in time. Now, as far as fintech is concerned, we've been around for a little bit of time. We started the company in 2006. We are based in Silicon Valley. So we have venture capital funded. We've raised about $20 million. We have 35 employees. We have more than 1,000 clients, and almost half of those are actually financial technology companies. They are in 55 different countries, so we sell to clients all around the world, whether they're in Israel or Singapore or Australia. A lot of firms use us today. What we're famous for is our APIs. We were probably the first one to come up with REST-based, pure REST-based, JSON-based market data APIs. So we have more than 1,000 available today, and we serve about 25 billion API requests a month. So it's a pretty scalable platform built on the cloud and whatnot. What we do is simple. Market data tends to be a pain in the butt. It's very complex, especially if you don't come from financial services or you don't have an experience with it. There's a lot of complexity to it. And what we do is simply make it super easy with APIs. We have actually some people who've played around and used APIs here and could speak to the flexibility there. So all the market data APIs you need, we cover every asset class. Spare a few very exotic instruments. We have quote information in real time or delay. We have pricing. We have fundamental data, master data, tick data, market information. We cover global markets, and we have, again, a very, very scalable, very proven market data platform. We have about 3 million instruments on the platform. I mentioned the 25 billion API requests. We take about 100,000 messages inbound today that we serve back to our customers in those 25 billion requests. So just to give you an idea of the scale. So typically if you're a developer and you're like, hey, I'm going to need some data to power my thing, right? you can come to our website, look at our catalog of APIs, and you're probably going to get data happy. Oh, I can get this, and this, and I'll be done. And really the value proposition is really around what you see at the bottom here is ease of use. We have very intuitive APIs. Sometimes you can build you can build a good website and a bad website. You can build a good API or a bad API, and you'll know when you use it. And what we give our clients is speed of development. Most of our clients buy the data after they have actually integrated in their platform, so they can build things very, very quickly, and then they can buy it. This is how we see the world, if you want. If you look at the world of market data, there's really like 3 realms, if you want. There's, and many of you probably have real jobs in financial services, but maybe thinking of jumping ship. You have the world of terminals. Everybody has used a Bloomberg or an Icon terminal, and which is technology made for people. Right? It's really designed to give somebody all the data that they need and all the analytics that they need if you want. It's a big market, but it's a pretty much of a flatlining market. Then you have the data feed business, which is what you use to do algo trading and future trading rooms. You can use companies like Active or Thomson Reuters Electron. It's also a fairly large market, but it's also really seen its heydays in the past. So it's not growing very heavily. And then you have the rest of the world, which is all the data you need to feed, mobile apps and web apps and back office systems and new platforms, robo-advisors and whatnot. And where you need a very large amount of data, all kinds of data, and where what matters the most is the ease of integration. And that's where Xignite really plays. That's for the animation. Our platform was designed also for really the next generation of applications. As you know, there's a lot more devices today than there used to be before, and a lot of other technologies were really designed to deliver data to terminals, and a few thousand of those, or websites. And what we see today is just a proliferation of devices. We feed data into cars. So if you happen to drive a Lexus or a Toyota, you probably get stock quotes from us. You probably didn't know you could, but you can. If you happen to own a Gulfstream, you can also get stock quotes from us. But Apple Watch, we already have applications that have been built using our data as well. So you need a platform that can really deliver large amounts of data on a large scale, and that's what we're trying to do. Taking advantage of Amazon. We ran on Amazon. We jumped on Amazon back in 2008. And many of our clients actually use Amazon as well, which makes it high performance for them, of course. So these are some of our clients. We like to think we inspire the best of fintech. Now, we're based in the US, so we have a little bit of, about 70% of our clients are in the US, but we have our customers here. These are just our fintech clients. They didn't put all the banks who use us. We have more than 1,000 clients. But certainly the poster children of financial technology in the US, like the robo-advisors like Betterment, Wealthfront, Personal Capital use us. More established companies like Yodlee use us as well. So we have pretty much a good segment of the market there. So again, if you think of starting something, you need some data, you should take a look. And why? Because again, we make it simpler. We price things actually with startups in mind. So if you're a startup, you're going to pay a lot less than if you're a financial institution, for example. We'll try to make you succeed over time. So any questions about this before I talk a little bit about our experience with fintech and what we're seeing in the market?
Yeah. Do you also carry reference data and customer data like standard instructions?
What was that?
Do you also have, in addition to market data, do you also have reference data about companies, locations, trading partners, etc.?
We may not have trading partners, but we have a lot of fundamental data. We have a partnership with FactSet, so we have a lot of their data. So we have thousands and thousands of data points globally on all financial institutions. There's definitely some data sets we don't have. We talked about the minimum product. I think unless you need pretty hard to find data sets, we may not have those, or we may be able to locate them. But a lot of what people need to start a new application we tend to have. Any other questions? Yeah.
You seem to list mostly trading data, but are you looking forward when everyone will want lots of data, so you want to be the go-to person?
It's not just trading data. I mean, we have real-time and delayed data, but we have historical prices, we have historical data used for backtesting, we have fundamental data.
Do you have everything?
Huh?
Do you have implied spreads on board?
We have data to be able to calculate it. We don't calculate them ourselves. So we do derive some data, we do have some analytics, but actually a lot of our clients go and create their own models with the underlying data, so we don't actually try to compete with them.
So if you wanted oil futures, how much would that cost for a month?
I can talk to you after if you want. I'll be over there. By the way, I have t-shirts and goodies over there in the corner. Make sure you grab some before you go.
But it's kind of cutting to the gentleman's question there. I mean, in terms of Bloomberg, who are the market leaders, if you're a trading floor, you have your Bloomberg
Sure.
feeds, and if you're an administration, you have to have Bloomberg as your feed. How are you different? Is
Well,
it a cost, or is it?
If you have a Bloomberg on your desk, sure, good for you, right? But if you want to build an application, and if you want to get that data from Bloomberg, it's going to be a different scenario, right? I mean, a lot of people actually, what happens often, I was just talking to somebody about this earlier, people have a Bloomberg on their desk and they start pulling data out of it, and then they pull a little hard, and then it gets shut down, and then they come back and to us and say, hey, I can get this data so that I can feed it to my system. Because they were taking the data off the terminal, and we power applications. Our whole business is designed to serve people who build applications. And our licensing and everything allows that, even for redistribution. So if you're going to build a platform that you're going to actually market to institutional users inside a bank, we can give you data for that.
How real time are you then? Bloomberg
We don't do low latency. So if you want nanoseconds or microseconds, you're not going to pull that from the cloud. But we sub-second response and latency on any real-time data. So it's being used for trading by many institutions. Most robo-advisors, like or a trading company like Robinhood, Betterment, uses for trading. That's what they do. Yeah.
Presumably this process works with any type of data. Why do you specialize in financial data?
Well, it's back to, I think, what Jason was talking about, right? What we're trying to build, I think of what we're trying to do is a Bloomberg of APIs, right? If you're trying to build something, you want to go to one place where you can find all the stuff that you need to be able to power your platform. And so we're not trying to be market data is a huge market. It's a $25 billion market. There's lots of pockets of data, things that we don't have. But so we're trying to bring under one integrated umbrella the largest amount of data you can, where you can just pick it up and build technology, build an application, without having to build your own infrastructure for it, without having to spend a lot of money on databases, onboarding, and whatnot. You can just hit our APIs and do that extremely hard, and we can feed your business.
Sorry, just one more question.
Yeah.
In terms of...
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. I'd like to suggest, since these are all great questions, perhaps if at the end of all the presentations, which are great,
sure.
If perhaps we're at the desks,
Sure.
we'll
Yeah.
all be sitting.
Okay.
That's fine.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Let me quickly through some of those. I only have a couple slides that I want to be mindful of time. So, fintech hasn't seen a lot of innovation since 2008, and we're one of the fintech companies who survived 2008, 2012, and seeing a big explosion right now. Certainly, what we're seeing is that, at least in the US, some categories of fintech have already been played. I think that the leaders are already defined, and it's going to be hard for some people to come up with new robo-advisors, for example, because there's some that are already defined. So I think the key thing is to, and it's part of the design that Jason was talking about, find your niche, divide it, and conquer that market. What we're seeing more and more is people that are arms dealers like us, instead of front linemen. Instead of building an application that's going to be used by retail people, they actually provide technology to other companies or to our large financial institutions. I talk to a lot of startups every day who can't really define which market they're in, right? I think the biggest advice that I have to give to anyone is make sure you define your category, and you do that very well. Let me skip through some of this. How can you save the industry billions of dollars? How can you use the cloud to eliminate a lot of infrastructure? That's certainly something we're trying to do by providing a platform that way. How can you leverage the ecosystem? There's a huge ecosystem of fintech companies that can really feed business to each other and feed technology to each other and really change the world. And we're seeing that more and more. How do you win in fintech? This is an old school take on what Jason was doing, but first define your category. If you can't do that, you're not going to raise any money anyway. Nail the pain. This is about the customer experience. Which problem are you really, really, really solving? What's your angle in that category? What's your niche, if you want? And can you get any traction? Hey, if not, pivot and try again. So I talk to probably 5 new startups every day. People who come in and need some data. And there's a lot of companies that are stuck on the left side here that haven't actually gotten exposure and gotten any traction. So this is kind of old school, define the market, define your angle, define your position. But I think this old school kind of stuff kind of works. Lessons from us, don't give up, be patient. I survived a couple of market crashes, and now it's showtime. So, it's not because it's hard that, just be ready to survive for a long time. Some people disagree with this. Certainly you don't want to build it because they will not come, I can tell you that. I built some APIs back in 2006, people still haven't used. So sell it first and then build it. Pivot, but not too much. Don't sell your soul necessarily. This is back to this one, people buy solutions, not products. It's exactly what Jason was talking about, which is you've got to design the whole company. To me, it's the same thing here. Too many people have products. It's a website. It's not a company. It's not a business. Investors like to invest in businesses, not products. Experiment. We learned tremendous things where we had designed the business on a whiteboard and we thought this was the greatest thing. And then we tried different things, like we had this free trial that we let people try all our services for a very long time. And we reduced that to just a few days and just a few services. And we took our pricing off our website. It was not intuitive. It was not really what we stood for. It had a huge impact on our business. People started talking to us, engaging with us. Business took off as a result. So sometimes things that you thought you designed right may be wrong, so just iterate and experiment. And I can tell you the 5 biggest mistakes I made building this company was hiring the wrong people. So make sure you hire the right ones.
Okay. Thank you very much, Stephan. Excellent. Very impressive also to see how data intelligence is so fundamental even in fintech world. Okay, we're having a slight change in sequence.